So it's good to remind me. Okay, Cynthia, South Asia. Kobe is here. Sarah is not here. Ice is here. Haley is here. Diamond Golston, not here. Demaria. Sarah. Is anybody waiting? No, let's see her. Chandler's here, Brinkley's here, Kylie's here, Tanner's here, and Mark is here. I don't know who the guest is trying to come in, but I don't allow just pure guest. If you don't have a name you associated, you need to, is that you?
Yeah, I'm using it from the computer because I didn't bring I still don't have my name yet, so I couldn't do it from my phone either. So I just started doing it from the computer, and I thought it had my name, but I don't know why I said yes. Because I typed in my full name on the registration thing.
You may need to register again, but I'll just, since that's you, just be sure that that's you, because, you know, y'all have heard about Zoom bombings and stuff like that. So that's kind of the reason we don't want to have all of that. And I'm just getting kind of crazy messages at night. I don't know where these people are coming from. They must have lost their mind. They keep calling me and telling me, texting me. Yeah, let's see who's here completely. That's not you.
Oh no, yeah, that's
Well, put your face up as I can see you. Okay. I want just people in my class now. They need to have names that come in my class. I'm scared of nameless people. I don't know what they want to do. Okay, so we're all here, and I'm sharing my screen and so forth with you. Or you should continue to see my screen. If you don't see what you're supposed to see, you let me know. And I'm just saying this for everybody. If you, by chance, think you've been exposed or you have been exposed or whatever, this right here is where you're supposed to self-report. Yes, you can email me and tell me, but that's not what I really, you've got to self-report it to the school so they can handle it like they need to handle it. There are already students that are in quarantine, I know, in Swainsboro. So let's try our best not to spread it here. So just, that's on the main East Georgia website. You just report it yourself. You should be taking your temperature every morning before you leave home. I've sort of put my thermometer, I got one of those you just hold up and gun, I like to shoot myself in the head. And I just put it right there where I kind of keep my stuff together that I need as I leave the door. And and as long as you're under, I think it's 100, you're okay. If I'm running if I'm at 100, I'm running a fever. But anyway, that's what we're supposed to do. You take care of yourself, but you also are protecting everybody else. So if you start feeling bad or whatever, and definitely if you're running a fever, you stay at home and self-report and find out what's going on. So everybody, you have the option that if you're not here, that you can Zoom with us. And if you Zoom with us and I see your name, then I will give you credit for being here. Of course, I don't know who a Zoom user is, but otherwise I will give you credit and you can be here. And if I need you to share things on your screen, you need to share things on your screen. Zoom does not replace face-to-face class entirely. It's as close as we can come to replacing face-to-face. But if nobody is coming and being in class at the same time, we miss that interaction that goes on. I don't teach well just to the computer by itself. It gets on my nerves, so I don't teach too well for that. But that's there. I'm going to try to put the videos from each day's class here. I'm not sure that that's really what it's supposed to be there. Let's see if it works. This one, see, it says video was unavailable. The video was too long. I don't know how to, where to put it, so it's not too long. Because they told us they didn't want it left in the cloud, or left in the school's cloud, or whatever. So until I figure that out, I don't know. But I guess I could send you a direct link, but it would be on the given day, not some other time. But those are the important things that you need to know for right now. Before we get much further, I want you to, I'm not going to put them on D2L. I'll put them on my math lab. This is your, notice today's the date that it's been updated. Why do you think I had to update our syllabus or your schedule? Does anybody know? What's happened? Your break. Actually, it's disappeared almost. We are no longer taking the week of the masters. They decided there were going to be no patrons, so they don't need all of y'all to go out there and work this year and spread the virus and so forth. So it's just going to be primarily the golfers there, and so we should be able to carry on. If you're not from around here, the week of the Masters usually is the most unusual week in Augusta that you would ever spend. People rent their houses out. A lot of younger people work at the Masters. Most people, if they can, they leave town. It's just an unusual time. Plus, our parking lots are used for parking, and then they shuttle people to the Masters from here. So it's difficult for us to have school when the Masters is going on. But, so that's gone. What they did was give us a whole week of Thanksgiving, which is good, and changed up just a little bit, not much, but they changed it up just a little bit, the ending days. This is your Thanksgiving holidays week. Basically, we will be finished at then. Technically, you know, your exam's not supposed to come before the end, but it does have to be proctored. So we will talk about, you know, if you're ready before Thanksgiving, we can take it and get it out of the way. If you're not, then you come back the Tuesday after Thanksgiving and take it. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. All right, so it did change up a little bit where we had Masters Week. I took that out and kind of moved everything around just a little bit, and hopefully it won't have to change anymore, but you'll have a pretty good idea. Okay, quiz 1 is going to be due when? Monday, this upcoming Monday. It's going to cover all of chapter 1 and what? 2.3, 2.1, 2.2, and 2.3. All right. Did you have any questions? I've gotten one question, and I'm going to answer it first. Chandler, I didn't realize you had sent me anything about, well, I guess I must have, because I answered it. The stat contract log.
Yeah, in Word. I just haven't sent it through a Word document to PDF.
Okay. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Not really a stat crunch, it was a normal curve, right? All right. Ooh, she's gonna give me one of them long ones to work. The median income of males in a random sample of 30 states in the United States, including the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, are given in the table below. Median income of 2013. Create a frequency distribution and relative frequency distribution using 7 classes. Okay, well, we got a lot of work to do here, don't you? I'm going to go ahead and kind of introduce y'all a little bit to this. And you're supposed to register for this. If you don't already have it, you can go to statcrunch.com and you should have the option of registering. Okay. this is the reason that I wanted to open it, was right here. These numbers are big and they're not in order, are they? So just by that in itself, I can use this to help me. Okay, if I go to data and I want to sort, I want to select the column. Okay, I'm going to create a new column. You can either replace the current, you can create another one. We want ascending order is always, to me, better, unless there's a reason for descending. Okay, so what did it do? It took what was in the first column, it sorted it, and it put it in the second. So I've got the same data, but it's in order. It won't be as hard for me to find where these numbers are, will it? Okay, you see how easy it did that? And these are 5-digit numbers. If I had to go through and put all that in myself, I'd be in trouble. Okay. I want my windows side by side. Let's see, I gotta find the other window that I want over here. You just get rid of you then, if you're having trouble. All right. So now I can look at my data over here and answer these questions over here. Okay. Got one more coming in. Just for the record, there is a self-reporting thing on the main East Georgia webpage. Okay, since the data were collected for what? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 30. The data were collected for what? What were these collected from? Were they just collected from one? They were collected from what? How many states? 30 states. Okay, so let's put in 30. What? Well, is 30 qualitative or quantitative? The state itself is what? Be qualitative, but this would be quantitative. 30 and quantitative, 30 states. 30. We're going to do a histogram. It's more than likely going to be related to what? Quantity, isn't it? To make a, doesn't it want a histogram? Isn't that what we're looking at down here? Okay. Now, I don't know that y'all can do all these. But see, that's not what 30 is. It wants one quantity. Why is it one quantity? It's one quantity from each one, isn't it? Okay. Using the formula, the class width, the maximum minus the minimum and round up to the next whole number. Okay, what is our maximum? Now this is where I'd probably pull my phone or something separate just so I could do the arithmetic. Okay, we need to go over here and we need to find the maximum number. What is the maximum number? What's your maximum number? Okay, so I would put that in 66,760, and then I would go, this thing always rolls backwards to me. Then I would do my smallest one, so I'd subtract 22,529, and then it says to do what? The number of classes. How many classes do you want? Do you see that anywhere? You want 7. So after we found the difference, we divide it by 7. And what did you get? So to round up to the next whole number, what did you get? I got 6,318.7, so 0.19. Okay? You see how we got that? We found the difference from the maximum minus the minimum and divided by the number of classes. Complete the frequency distribution table listing 7 classes. Okay, we start, notice you started where? Do you see that? You started where did you start? Now this is tricky. This is a great question. My smallest value was 22,529. Notice that says 22,528.5. That is a half a unit less than the lowest, isn't it? Okay, so that's a boundary. That's kind of like a fence post that's going to be between these numbers. Okay, so I want to take that number. Now, there's just a lot of arithmetic in this too. Go back to your calculator. All right, and put in the 22,528.5. Now you've got to add the class width that you've chosen. So I'm going to add 6,319. That gave me 28,847.5. Okay. I've got that already in my calculator. I want to add again. I'm getting the beginning of each class. The beginning of each class. So I'm going to add that 6,319 again. That gave me 35,166.5. I do the same thing again till I fill up all of this. So I'm going to add the 6,319. It would have been nice if they'd have just given us some numbers we could have done in our head quickly, wouldn't it? And I just keep doing that until I fill them all in. And I always when I'm trying to do about 5 things at one time, I always mess up. What was that number? So y'all double check me, because arithmetic is not my forte. I like mathematics, which means I like to put letters with mine. Okay, so that gave me the beginning of each of those classes, didn't it? All right, now I need to find the end of that class. Well, where is it going to be? Looks like it's the same number that's there. So that's where it ends. So these are the end points. Nothing is going to be right on those. All of our data was an integer, wasn't it? It didn't have 0.5, so it's going to fall between it. Do you have an idea what this next one's going to be without me having to do anything other than copy? What's it going to be? 35? What's this one going to be? 41,485.5. This one, 47,804.5. Something's not right there. I can look at that and tell that isn't right. My arithmetic went crazy on me, didn't it? Or either my typing did, one. And that's another thing. You need to be aware of things that just scream like that. And hopefully I didn't make any other mistakes, because y'all aren't catching them. I'm supposed to, huh? That's right now. Is this one right?
Yes.
So you see, I can do this, highlight it, copy it, and paste it. But I can't do the last one. How am I going to do the last one? I'm going to have to add what? 6,319 to it. And then I would get 66,761.5. Okay? Now, if we want to, we can they're getting something totally different for me, aren't they? That is, okay. These things look weird, don't they? Be sure we got them right before we go any further. You know, back in my day, you know how we had to do all this stuff? Like this. If I wanted to check an answer, I had to go to the back of the book and look. And if they only gave you even numbered problems, you didn't even have those answers in the back of the book. Now, I love the answers in the back of the book. Did I cheat with them? No, but I like to know when I've done it right. That's just me. Okay. Now, we've got to get the frequency. Now, this would be, I'm going to tell you, would be virtually impossible for me to do without it being sorted. With this many digits and being a crazy interval. It's not like it went from 20,000 to 30,000, something that you could just really look at. So here's the bottom. Where was the top? The top of the first interval is 28,000. But how many are between here and here? Only one. Okay, the next interval between the 28 and the 35. How many are in that interval? Any? How many? 0. Let's see, that's a 37, so it didn't fall in that interval. The next one is between the 35 and the 41. 41 what? 4, 8, 5. Wouldn't it be these right here? Are they all between it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. The 419. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. What number am I really looking at? Okay, come back. Let's see. Here to there. 47804. 478. So we would be back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to tell y'all how I have to highlight stuff so I can do it. 414. The 7 in this group? 464, it wouldn't be. So it would be from 8 to 19, wouldn't it? Be days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? So what y'all got? I can see why you wanted me to do this one. Okay. The next group, we are through. Did we include 19 on that one? We did. Okay, so where are we going to start now? 20. Make sure it goes in that category. It does. And where does this category stop? At 5, 4 something. So we'd go through that, wouldn't we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that what y'all got? Okay, now we go through 60,040 something. How many do we have in that category? 60,442 would only be what? Huh? Would it be 2? 442. That's 264 and 705. The 264 is the only one that will go there. So that's 1. And then the last category would be what? 2. Okay, let's double check this now. Uh-oh, that one was 6. Let's see, 3516. We can start there. Let's start here and 4148. Start it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would be 6. But that's going to change your other things, so be careful. That was 12. I must have just left that one out. That was 8. It was 1, and that was 2. Okay? Now, that's the hardest part of this problem to me, is filling in that column right there. It's counting. Now, if you didn't have them organized, it would be what? Impossible, almost, with that many numbers and so forth. Okay, now, what is relative frequency? You take the individual number and you divide it by the total. So what I'm going to do is I will take 1 and we're going to divide it by 30. Okay, how many decimal places? They're just doing three decimal places. Probably told me somewhere up here. Okay. Now, what's the next one going to be? We can do this one in our head. What's 0 divided by 30? 0. You may can do the next one in your head. Can you divide 6 by 30 in your head? What's 6 divided by 30? Huh?
0.2.
Okay, so 0.2, 0.2. I've always left that 0 off, and y'all always put it on, and it plays with my mind. 12 divided by 30. Well, you double what it was at 6, if nothing else, right? So 0.4, 8 divided by 30, 0.26, what? 7. We're rounding it to 3. 1, we've already done, so that's 0.033. And then 2 would be what? 0.067. Okay? Okay? All right. So that wasn't too hard, was it? Okay, now we've got to come up with the histogram here. Well, you're just picking out the picture. So what you want to do is, where is the biggest one? It's between right here. This is your largest class right here. So let's see if we can, good night above. How am I supposed to see those things? Whew. All right. Let's do a matter of elimination. The second class has how many in it? 0. So that would eliminate the very bottom one, wouldn't it? Because see, the second class, because I can't tell the numbers. I mean, y'all may can see them better than I can, but I can't see nothing on that. Okay, so then the way I'm going to do it is the longest one, and you've got 6, which should be half of the longest one. In the middle, these two look alike. I know that's not it. But the first category only had how many in it? 1. I'm down to these two by what I've been comparing. Is it going to be this one or this one? Is it A or B? Or B or C? I think it's the B one, isn't it? Can you see that? I think we got it completely correct. Okay, did that help? Now, I would find it virtually impossible to do it without arranging my data. I mean, I would sit here and arrange the data myself before I try to do it any other way. You can kind of scratch out, but a lot of times if I don't have a copy of something I can scratch out, I've got to have it arranged. And it's so hard when those numbers are like that, you know, if they're like from 10 to 20, something like that, where you're just looking at a major change and it's not quite as bad. Okay, do we have other questions? It shouldn't take y'all that long to do it, but we're kind of going through the details on it. Anybody else have anything else they want to ask from the previous material that we've done? Or you've done? I'm listening and waiting.
Is the quiz gonna open on the 31st?
The quiz for the 31st will probably open up on Thursday. I can see when it will open. What's today? The 26th, 25th, 27th at 1. Y'all want me to go ahead and open it? Are y'all ready to take the quiz? I mean, you don't have to take it just because I open it. Now, it is time. I'm going to tell you about it. I would organize all of my notes before I ever started. I mean, how should you take a math class? You should have notes. You should have problems you've worked on paper, because it's too much trouble to flip back and forth, because you see how long it takes when you got to piddle with stuff. I'd be sure everything was up, going good before I started. Then I would start, and I'd have my notes out. You get 2 shots at it, but that's it. Now, I could change this date so that it is today instead of Thursday at 1. I just wanted to be sure y'all didn't start a quiz before you were kind of ready for it. Are any of you ready for it? You ready to go ahead and start? That doesn't mean you've got to start. I would not start this quiz at all until I had finished all the homework that feeds into it, okay? So it'll start today at 1. I would never start a quiz like inside the class right now, because it's time. You're going to run out of time. you need to block off the time that you need for it. Now, granted, if you don't have time to block it off, you could come in here Thursday, and if nobody asks questions, we can block it off and you have time to do it. But you can't ask me questions either on Thursday. Once you start that quiz, you can't ask me. And I don't really like for y'all to take quizzes in front of me because it's hard for me not to help you. If you ask me a question, it's hard for me not to help you. I just consider everything a teaching opportunity. Okay, so it should be there and available if you want it. If you do not have StatCrunch, I would be making it my business to get it. Wasn't it pretty beneficial for us today? Yes, sir.
Can you show me how to do the sort the data thing real quick? I didn't see.
Did you do anything over here? Have you got your StatCrunch open? Okay. Did you put the data in?
When I tried, it's like all in one column when I put it over there. I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay. Well, let's start with a new table. All right. Let's see. Okay, what I did was I highlighted this, just the data itself, and I hit Control C. Then I go over here to this very first column and I hit Control V. Did that work? It's command, isn't it, on the Apple instead of control? That's what it is. Okay.
Thank you.
I knew it did, I mean, the Windows machines is controlled. I actually have my personal computer is the Apple, but I do it so just you get to the point where you don't know what you do. You just do it. Okay, once you've done that, now what do we want to do? You go to Data, click up there where it says Data, and then go down to Sort. Okay, you want to do it by a select column. You got to select it twice. You want it in ascending. And I did mine as create a new column just in case I needed the original column for something and then compute. Okay? All right. Anything else? Other questions? I don't know what all that is. Any questions from any of you that have joined us online? You're welcome to unmute yourself or hit the space bar to ask a question? Because I know there are a few of you. I know there are at least 2 of y'all that are just online only, not in here. Any questions? Asia?
No, ma'am, I'm okay.
Okay, and Kira? Kira? Kira, where are you?
Hello?
Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, just double checking. All right, anybody? Okay, so you need to finish your chapter 1, your chapter 2 homework, organize it, study it, and you can go ahead and start the quiz if you want to. On Thursday, I will, now don't come in and ask me to work a quiz question. You'll have to find it somewhere else if you want me to work it.
What time does the quiz like close?
Monday night at 11:59.
Okay, thank you.
So you've got almost a full week to get it done in. Now, class will be kind of more you working in class. So if you got earbuds, you might want to bring earbuds to be getting ahead or whatever, because I won't start the lecturing part of the next material until next Tuesday. All right. Bye-bye, online.